Hey, what's up? World Wrestling Live here. Man, I'm really excited. We've got one of the top girls in the nation on here this week, Alyssa Favara, uh, a Florida PA girl. So half her life here, half her life there. And she's at McCourt, which is obviously a national powerhouse. We see what they do on the national level. She's a three-time state champion, one in Florida, two in PA, Super 32 champion. She's All-American at everything. And currently ranked number fourth in the country at 190, right? Is it 190 you're at right now?
Yeah. Yeah, 190.
Awesome. So she'll beat your ass. What's what's happening?
Not much. Just I'm actually at McCourt right now. I'm in school. I
Oh,
convinced them. I said this is pretty important. They let me go.
that's so cool. Yeah, I think the last time I saw you was at either Fargo or
Could I probably honestly.
Fargo, because I saw you at the Tyrant Duels up there in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's when I got that check.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. So man, what a year for you, huh? You've done a lot. You PA girls are sanctioned. So what uh what was that like getting to compete at Hershey Park this year and be on that big stage?
That was crazy. You'd think that having already done that, like already competed in like the first girl state tournament, that like I'd get there and it would be familiar, but it wasn't at all. It was like reliving that moment like times 10 because of how much of a powerhouse Pennsylvania is for wrestling. Like seeing like girls be included at like Giant Center was insane. And it was actually really cool because the first day that we went out for warm-ups for the first session, they announced us and everybody applauded as we went out onto the floor to warm up. And it was so surreal. Like it was, you'd think that you'd be used to it, but it was just as crazy as when I did it in Florida.
I'm sure the crowd, obviously you did it here in Florida during the first sanction, and it was really cool. You heard, I mean, obviously, I mean, unfortunately yet our crowds aren't as big, but we're growing, right? But you could
Mhm.
really, 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 really hear them cheering for the girls. Even down here in Florida, you could
Mhm.
hear them very loud, and it was fun. So I couldn't imagine what the level was there.
It was
They don't, they don't,
goosebumps.
they don't welcome you with a big giant Hershey bar.
So they didn't do that this year, but last year before it was sanctioned, but we still like our states were still in Hershey technically. When at regionals, the girls who qualified for states, we got our little brackets and then we got a Hershey's chocolate bar.
That's so
So
cool. How good for wrestlers too, because you guys are cutting all week, you guys are doing all that stuff, and
mhm.
you're like, "Oh, Hershey,
Yeah.
Hershey
Give us this
chocolate
big chocolate bar the week before states. We're like, what are we supposed to do with this?
and a bowl of Chipotle, right? And you guys would be absolutely in heaven.
Doesn't take much.
I'm surprised Chipotle. I was talking to a coach the other day. I said, I'm surprised Chipotle and wrestling haven't found each other as sponsors because
Right?
every kid I talk to, every time I go to a tournament, every time, hey, Dad, Chipotle afterwards, Chipotle. I'm like, okay, no
It's because
problem.
it's perfect. It's like the perfect after weigh and fuel. It's got protein, it's got carbs, delicious. Like
Yeah, that's awesome.
maybe we should probably
Cool.
start that. We need to get that going.
Yeah, I know you didn't go to the US Open this year. You enjoyed your senior prom, so that's good. Good for you. I know you had some teammates over there. I mean,
Mhm.
guys like Bassett and Forrest
Yeah.
and people like that. They're not that good, but they so were you watching the US Open? Were you cheering them on?
Oh yeah. We were my other teammate Mason Gibson and we were in every single class that we had together. We weren't paying attention at all. We had it pulled up on our phones and we were watching. I know that on I think it was Saturday. No, Sunday. Sunday we had a little watch party at one of his houses to watch the finals and we got to watch Melvin make his first world team and then Keegan make his first world team. So that was really neat. But yeah, I don't think Flow was ever closed on my phone. Like we were paying attention the whole
That's
time.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, he hit what Bassett and Valencia always seem to put on a show, huh? Those
Yeah,
two
that
kids,
was insane.
unbelievable. What girls were you watching? Were you watching your weight class, seeing what they were doing? Were you watching some of your friends like Claire and them compete out there?
Definitely. I was keeping track of Claire. I was keeping track of you may know her Milana Borelli.
Oh
She
yeah,
came up
she's
here to train
awesome.
in Pennsylvania a
Yeah.
few times, so I was definitely keeping an eye on her. I was watching um I have a friend from Tennessee, Ella Murphy. She was doing pretty good. And then I had some girls here like Jacqueline Bazakis and stuff. Like I was keeping tabs on them, watching them kick
She's
ass as
okay.
always.
She's okay too.
Yeah, she's all right. I mean,
But she had that in the last chance. I know she lost in the finals to
Turner.
yeah, she's so good, Turner.
Yeah, she's insane. But I think Jackie's gonna get that one back eventually. I have faith in her.
Oh, for sure. I mean, was she a freshman now?
I think so. I think
Yeah,
so, yeah.
doing what she's doing. So, man, good for her. And the whole
Mhm.
family, obviously, with the brothers. Now both of them are going to be at Ohio State.
Yeah, being a Buckeye, I was so happy to hear that. I remember I watched the Young Bucks documentary and like seeing Nick on there. I was like, oh my God, I know him. Like we're both
Yeah,
Florida twinsies. And then hearing that Vince was going there too, I was like, that's
that's
so
so
cool.
funny. I'm 47 and I watch you guys out there wrestling. I'm like, hey, I know that girl. That's pretty cool. I know that. Like even at my age, I'm like a big kid at heart. But hey, so you committed to Lock Haven.
Yeah, very,
What a
very
great
excited about
college
that.
over there. I know you had a lot of everybody in the country wanted you, obviously, at your level. You're a badass. What um,
Thank you.
what made Lock Haven the right place for you?
So I think one of the biggest factors was its like location. Obviously, I wanted to stay in Pennsylvania because obviously Pennsylvania is it's I moved here for a reason. Like it's the powerhouse of wrestling. And then I had the opportunity to go train there a few times, like during the season and stuff. I got to be good friends with one of their girls on the team, Lily Share. She kind of introduced me to it. She's like, "Hey, just come check it out, like give it a chance." And I honestly wasn't that open to it at first, but the more I went there and the more I got to know Coach Lackey and their team and how life was on campus and their training schedule, like the more I kind of fell in love with it. And I started seeing similarities in Coach Lackey to my personal coach, Coach Verona, and the way that they shook technique and the way that they have this relationship with their athletes. And I had like this gut feeling that it was going to be the place for me. Um, and yeah, no, it just felt like right after visiting there so
That's
many
that.
times. I was like, I can picture myself being here.
Yeah, it's awesome and excited, I'm sure, to compete at the next level. Plus, all your training
Mhm.
centers are in PA that you train out of.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Obviously, always rooting for
thank
you.
you.
Your family's always supported me. I've always supported back. So it's been awesome watching you grow. And I mean, only a few years at this. I mean, you literally, I know now, was it jujitsu, judo? Did you do anything before or you just, you just found wrestling and
Pretty
three,
much.
3 years of wrestling, 3 state titles, fourth in the country.
Yeah,
How much work does that take?
a lot. It was definitely the first year that I started. So obviously I started with Coach V and Garage Boys Wrestling and Palmetto Ridge, my first school and stuff.
Great
They were
program.
seeing a lot of success when they first started. So I think I joined at a really good time. And we were honestly, my mom, all credit to her. She took me to every tournament under the sun for me to get work in. And we were just honestly nonstop for a year. Like I found this, and I'm sure you've heard the story about how my old teammate Haley Peck and we started as a joke. Like it wasn't going to be anything serious. And then it just turned into my life. And I was like, hey, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. So like I said, my mom took me to every single tournament that she could, and for like a year and a half, we just went nonstop, like tournament after tournament, practice after practice, and it paid off, you know. And
Yeah.
then I got the opportunity to come
And
up here, and being surrounded by such insane, like-minded, hardworking people, it just pushed the level that I was at even further. Like it took it 10 notches up, and so
yeah, it's all and we'll talk about that. But you and Haley Peck, and now she is out on college visits right now, and she
yes,
uh what was she, third at state this year?
fifth, I believe.
Fifth. Yeah, I mean, I remember when she won that match to All American, I was standing next to her dad, and he won't admit to it, but I saw tears.
I was watching her. I
Coach
was
B.
so proud
Yeah,
because
it was
I've seen
awesome.
how hard she's worked and stuff. And when she got like oh my God, excuse me, when she was where she was gonna place, I was like, it was awesome because like I started with her, it was like emotional for me too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. But you mentioned McCord up there. What and I know what makes them so good? I mean, the compound room, the Bassett, the Verona, the girls, the boys, how do they produce such high level competitors?
Um, I think as I think it's a lot of credit to the group as a whole. I mean, everybody pushes each other. Like there's are so many hammers in that room that it's like there's just there's never a day where the room is down. Like everyone's always constantly pushing each other. And a lot with our training schedule, like we are constantly going. We have 4 or 5 practices a day. Coach Bassett he's amazing when it comes to motivation. He has schedules. He has our whole training, like summer training schedule planned out minute by minute. And it's like he cares so much about us, and he does everything and provides every single opportunity for us to have like success. And it's also just work, like I said, just work that room. There's never a dull or slow day in that room because everybody there has a goal, and everybody there has their sights set on the highest goals, like Jax at the Olympic trials. Like you can't have someone like that in the room and not be motivated to work just as hard as them. So it's like everybody lifts each other up, and it's just
Oh man, I was Matt's side. I was right there, Matt's side when he was wrestling Gilman.
yo
And,
man,
and
me too.
he was fighting his ass off. And he kept trying to hit that nasty duck. He's got that duck, but it just seemed like Gilman, obviously you have an
Mm,
Olympian
yeah.
wrestling a young man who's obviously at the highest level right there with him. But I think you saw kind of the experience of how to kind of be in that type of match pay off with time,
Mhm.
right? Where Jax
Yeah.
will have that. Obviously, he's a sophomore or something, right? So
He
sophomore.
is a sophomore.
So I mean, we're going to see plenty of him, and this experience is just going to prepare him so much. And um,
Yeah.
I saw one thing, and maybe you can tell me if this really happened or not, because I was sitting across the mat, and he was being coached by. I saw Strip Matter there on the side, and obviously
Jody, yeah.
Bassett, right? And he lost that match, and you know how they take off their thing and they go to walk by. And I saw
Hmm.
Jody chase him down, and I'm only guessing that this is what happened. You may know, I may not. But I saw Jody put his arm around him and talk to him, and then he walked him over to where the little kids were signing autographs. And I feel
Yeah.
like he told him, like, hey, young man, I know you just lost, but these are things we got to do for the young children and people coming up, and brought him over there, stood there with him, made sure he signed autographs. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the culture, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and Jax, he is that person. He is like on the mat, he's so tough, but off the mat, he's so nice. He helps out in practice. Like he would be the one to lose a tough match like that and immediately go and talk to the younger kids and be the inspiration that he knows that he is. Like I 100%, I didn't see that myself, but I 100% believe that that's something that Jax would do.
Yeah. And so watching were you at the Olympic trials?
Yeah, I was there in the Bryce Jordan Center.
Oh,
It
it's
was right
awesome.
in my backyard. How could I not?
Yeah, yeah. I was on the floor, and it's weird. I first of all, I was blessed to get credentials. I can't believe from where I started to be there to take pictures of those men and women was incredible, right? And I tell
Hmm.
everyone like yourself, I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi to anybody. I was so lost in the
Gosh,
moment, right?
no,
And
no, don't blame you at all.
but seeing the people you're around wrestling with day in and day out, competing now at something like that, how does that
Mhm.
motivate you to look and say, I can do that?
I got real emotional, especially every time I saw Jax go and wrestle. Every time I had one of my teammates or my future teammates, Kalani Schufelt, on the Lockhaven team. She was also competing there. Every time I saw either of them go out, I was just like, it really put into perspective how not like discrediting them or anything, like how achievable that is. I'm like, I train with these people so often, Jax every single day. Like, like why not me? Like it was just it kind of made that goal that obviously I have of going to the Olympics someday, it made it like real, like and ever since that, like been pushing a little bit harder in practice because that's all I can see. Like I see Jax walk out and then I kind of visualized, okay, instead of Jax, it's me. And then especially during the finals, like watching every time an athlete won, going and seeing them hug their family, I was just picturing, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be me. Like I was visualizing it. It was really emotional, but it was emotional, it was exciting, it was like exhilarating. It's like I can do that, and I have
Yeah.
every intention of doing
And
my best to do that. So
and the young girls like Kennedy Blades and Amit
yes.
take the torch from the older ladies, the legends, right?
Yeah,
And
watching her and Adeline's match was insane.
yeah.
I love watching them wrestle, especially how they've been back and forth and like their coach and athlete dynamic, like, and then watching Kennedy kind of rise above and like she is like the next generation, and then knowing that we're the same age, it's like
And she's
it's
pretty
it's
good.
really inspiring.
She's pretty good, huh?
She's oh, I,
Have you
pretty
ever
good doesn't
had
even
have you ever
begin.
had to wrestle her?
No, so I came this close at World Team Trials last year. If I had won my first match, I would have had her second round.
Oh,
But unfortunately, I did not. But the girl that I did lose to got fourth at Olympic trials. So not
I
not
asked that
close
like
there, but
wrestlers, right? Like even like I played basketball growing up or tennis or football or whatever, and maybe I played against somebody that just completely dismantled us, and I'm like, oh, I remember getting dunked on by that guy, right?
yeah,
Like, do wrestlers look back now and be like, man, like for example, yeah, I remember getting cradled by her. Like now look at
yeah.
her, right?
I was literally, and I've kept in touch with her a little bit. Her name is Brooklyn Hayes. She's so cool. I think she lives out at the OTC. So like she's like serious. But I watched her compete and I was like, oh my gosh, she pinned me at trials. Like
That's
and then
funny.
seeing her
Yeah.
win, I was like,
Like
oh, I was so
obviously it
proud.
sucks at the time, but then you go back and
Mhm.
like I remember my son getting cradled by Cooper at one of the local tournaments here, and I'm like, don't worry, buddy, you'll be able to say one day that guy.
I wrestled Cooper Haas. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because he's just a good human, man. He's a good wrestler.
Mhm.
But man, so what should we expect from you this off season? Are we going to see you at a Fargo? Are we going to see you at a world team? Are we going to see you competing?
Um,
Where should we see you competing? Or are you just taking it off and work focusing on strength training and top and bottom and getting ready for the next level? And well, you don't need
you'll
bottom because you're freestyle, so you'll
You'll
be
definitely you'll definitely see me. I will be at Fargo. I'm gonna be down at 170 for Fargo too, so that should be interesting because I don't know if you knew about the weight changes in college wrestling. Like instead of it being 170, 190, it's now 160, 180. So instead of wrestling higher, I'm gonna drop down to 70 for Fargo and then wrestle 80 in college. I will be on the junior national team for duels in Tulsa for
awesome.
Pennsylvania, so I'll be there. I was not able to go to World Team Trials this year because of like the weight, because obviously my weight has gone higher and the highest they have is 167. So I wasn't able to make it out for that. But those big competitions like duels and Fargo, you'll definitely see me there.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
Mhm.
I plan on going there. I already have a place to stay. I already have all that set up. So I plan on going there. So maybe
Awesome.
I have to focus on Florida plus all my girls over there with you.
Of
So,
course.
my Florida plus girls too. So,
Yes.
the girls up in PA also. But I always try and
Mhm.
get a hold of you guys. Well, that's
Of
awesome.
course.
I mean, it's just been a great year for you, huh?
Definitely has. I've got no complaints, man. And especially with like the adversity that I had to face with, getting injured and stuff and essentially missing out on my senior season. That was pretty disappointing. I went to my first tournament of the year of my senior season and I got hurt. And it was like,
Oh,
okay, it became, okay, I'm gonna miss a few tournaments to am I gonna make it to states? Like I wasn't sure if I was gonna be cleared. And I didn't get to go compete like with my girls, with my team at any of the tournaments that they went to. And my first tournament back in like 3 months was districts. So it was like, and I got cleared a week before that. So it was definitely scary, but I think the fact that I was able to prevail in spite of that, like it made it like that much sweeter.
it was awesome. I know you competed against another amazing program in the finals in Canon Mac. So that was
Yeah.
probably somebody you've seen often, and
Mhm.
a great match, winning it, getting that state title, 3 in a row. Now it's off to college. Man, I wish you the best. I hope you just
Thank
obviously
you.
keep kicking ass and doing that. And I can't wait to see you guys again. I'm
Looking forward to it.
guess it'll be Fargo.
Mhm.
Are you guys coming down to Florida at all this year?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. Um, no, I don't think so. I think it's we're like full steam ahead training here. I think especially now with summer coming up and we're gonna be not having school. We're gonna have all day to train. So I think it's gonna be a busy next few months, getting ready for Fargo and stuff, last run. But I don't know. I don't think we're gonna have time. I think this whole group, we've got our eyes set on some titles and I think we're gonna be pretty focused on that.
Bring home the big stop sign this time, right?
Yep, that's the goal. That's the
At the stop.
plan.
Yeah. Let's go. Well, it should be fun. I'll be rooting for you there. Look forward to seeing you. Thanks so much for coming on. And
Thank you, of
yeah,
course.
if any of your girls want to jump on, give them my link. Tell them they're more than welcome. Or
Of
anybody in
course.
the room, the coaches, Verona's always welcome. But
Okay.
tell Coach V I said hey,
I
and
will, of course.
you'll probably be fishing in his lake this summer. All right.